The annual convention that takes place at VentHaven Museum is the base for over 400 people every year that come from around the world to share their love of being a ventriloquist. They bring their figures with them. I'm not going to call them a dummy. I would never do that. And with me are three people who just came from that convention, who participated in it. It happened July 15th through the 18th. With me is Hope Baxter with her figure, as well as George and Hope Bridgers, her granddaughters, and their figures. And whoever came up with that word dummies is just, it's beyond me. I mean, these are precious characters that become an extension of what we are, truly. An art form that you just recently fell in love with, Barbara. The last 5 years you became a fan of and then a participant in being a ventriloquist.
That's right. The first time I read about it in the paper, in the Kentucky paper, I thought, I'll bet those people are interesting, and I decided I would go to the convention. So I went, and I didn't have a character with me. I just, went on my own.
Just as an observer?
Just as an observer. And I was caught up in it probably within the first 5 minutes.
Really?
The most wonderful people, and not everyone is a ventriloquist. As truly a straight ventriloquist, a lot of people use this in other professions, the medical profession, people dealing with young children especially. It helps if they have a character with them, because the children are more relaxed and they'll talk to the character. In a
therapist role, per se.
Correct.
Yeah.
And in education, I met a lot of people who are teachers, and they like to use it because when children relax and laugh a little bit, their ability to absorb knowledge increases.
Well, Georgia is 11, and she's at St. Mary's, and Hope is 8. And she's got a little, like a Jiminy Cricket there. How did you choose that figure, and what kind of a character is he? Is he a nice guy?
It's nice, and I kind of like how he looks for when I choose him, because he's perfect size for my arm, and it's pretty cool how he has these antennas sticking up, and you can move them around, and just it's pretty cool.
Did you find your character? Is there a store that you go to buy your figures? Is that how you found him and chose him?
Well, I get most of my characters at the convention that we're talking about right now.
Okay.
That's where I get all my characters.
And Georgia, you were even part of a talent show last year where you participated as a ventriloquist. How was that? How did your friends react?
Well, everyone really laughed, and I was doing it with my friend, so we put together a little show how the dummies would be like, and you're calling me a dummy, and they get all
so you did a take on that dummy thing that we were talking about. Yes. So you had to, did you write your own material?
Yes, we did.
That's, I mean, what a wonderful use of all those skills that it teaches the kids. I mean, not just to be able to get up in front of an audience and to perform, but really to write, to see how things go over once they, project their performance.
Exactly.
How about you? How did you find your material?
I observe. You just watch what people are doing, and you can take a little bit of what people are doing and emphasize one part of it. I did a routine last year at the Ventriloquist Convention about a pair of pantyhose that thought I had been abusing them, and I had a pair of black ladies' tights, and I just put my hands in the ends of them, and I turned the feet into the faces, and added eyeballs and little mouths, and they were accusing me of abuse. I left them in the sink overnight to soak, and it was just a funny routine, but it's women associated with it,
Absolutely,
because of that. And Georgia did a routine last year at the International Ventriloquist Convention. She got to meet somebody pretty special.
Well, who is that?
I got to meet Terry Fader. He is the person who won last year's America's Got Talent.
Oh, yes, I remember that. Yeah.
I got his autograph. Sure. I got to see his show.
What did you learn from watching his show? Did you pick up any tips?
Well, we learned to breathe deep and
good air in, bad air out.
Yeah.
You seem to have you're holding a wise old sage, and his eyes are freaking me out because he keeps eyeballing me. His eyes haven't stopped moving, and I'm thinking, okay, alrighty then.
Yes. Now this figure is by Alfred Alfaro, and he hand makes each character, and this is truly what you would call a dummy because his head is on a wooden stick. And
All right.
if you want me to, I can turn it around. You
Sure.
can see how my hand is working this. He really is, he's my most expensive character.
Oh, yeah.
If you can see, and the interior, there are brass fittings in there so that I can move his
Like levers.
eyes, correct, so that I can move his eyes and I can move his mouth, you know. Oh, hi there, hi Nancy, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing
And he can move his eyes. And one of the things that both of the girls learned this year when they were at the Junior Ventriloquist University was if you want eyes to look real and you have a character whose eyes can move, let me demonstrate. Hope you can tell me if I'm doing this right because I can't see his eyes. You're supposed to make his eyes, the head move first or the eyes?
You're supposed to make the eyes move
Okay,
first and then the head.
so I should make his eyes look to the left before I turn his head to the left.
Sure.
Because that's what people do. So the girls learned that and they passed that on to me. And Hope got to see a very special show this year at the convention.
Who did you get to see?
We got to see this ventriloquist named Mark Wade, and he's a really funny ventriloquist. Like, he told us all these, like at the end, it was so weird. Like, he told all the kids, I want you to be very quiet and walk out without a peep so we can hear a pin drop. And then all of a sudden, when everybody walked out, there was, I didn't hear anything. And like he said that to them, because there was this class of kids, like there was like 50 or 100 kids there, and they took up most of the front seats. So he said that to them, and because most kids really talk when they leave.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and it was pretty funny. I think he had a horse, a bird, and an imaginary flea.
Wow.
He pretended he had a flea.
You know, what's incredible is that something, like I said in the beginning, that's in our own backyard could really spawn such interest and such a new topic of conversation and perhaps a hobby for you, your kids, your grandkids. It's all in Fort Mitchell, and it's the VentHaven Museum, where annually a wonderful convention happens where these three wonderful people happen to learn a brand new hobby.